Updatable joins are broken. You can corrupt tables. So to explain why people were claiming we got corruption, we need to understand what a key preserved table is inside a join. It's a cool feature that's been around since Oracle 7, and we're going to explain why people think they're corrupt when in fact they're not. Create a table emp as a copy of scott.emp, create a table called department as a parent, and so what do? I'll add a primary key to department and I'll add a foreign key to the employee. There's your classic parent-child. Department is a parent of employee. I'm going to create a view, and this view is called vJoin, and we join between employee and department on the common foreign key. And one of the cool things, this has been around literally since version 7.3, is you can update that view. Even though it's a join, because it's what we call a key preserved table on the employee table. For every row in that view, there's one row in the employee table. The employee table is key preserved. We can see here it says you can effectively update these columns because they belong to the employee table. You can't update these ones because they belong to the department table. For each row in the department, it's reflected multiple times in this view, and therefore there isn't that one-to-one mapping, and so you can't do DML on those columns, but you can do DML on the employee columns. And we can prove that. If I update the vJoin and change the salary for a given employee, because there's that one-to-one mapping, yep, I query vJoin and the salary has been changed to 6,000, and the underlying table employee has been changed to 6,000 as well. Very cool stuff. This has been around since 7.3. What happens though if I try to do this? What if I try change the department name, which is a column from the department table which doesn't have the one-to-one mapping in that join? As we saw in the view there, it says you're not allowed to do an update. And when we run it, you will get an error as we see, we don't. And here's where the claim came in. Updatable joins are broken. You're not meant to be able to do that. In fact, the dictionary review told us you're not allowed to update the department name, and yet you can. It's true, it is a bug, but it's not a bug in this. It's a bug in the dictionary view that says you can't update it. We've made some enhancements to this. If you're doing an update that we think is safe, then we'll allow it to go ahead. So I've updated this, and I did indeed do it. If I go look at department table, employee 7499 belongs to department 30, and we updated that. We view this update as safe because updating this one row in employee by definition means I'm only updating one row in the department table. Let's play with this a little bit more. What if I start, because that department name for department 30 obviously belongs to multiple employees in the join, what happens when I update multiple rows? Here I've got two employees, 7497839. They're in department 30 and department 10. What if I do this update? It says that's fine. Even though I'm updating two rows with one update, because each employee maps to two different departments, they're viewed as single row updates to the department table, and therefore they're allowed. I actually changed department 10 and department 30. Let's roll it back. What about this though? Here I've got 7499, 7698. They're both in department 30. So if I was to run an update where I try to set the department name to the employee name, I get an error because it would depend on which order I took these, which way this department name would change, because they both map to the same row in the department table. And that's the logic we have now. If during the update, you would actually end up with multiple passes of the employee rows or the child rows going to the same row in the parent table, then we're not going to let you do it. Because obviously that would mean, depending on which order you treated those rows, you could get spurious results. It's similar to, if you look at my video called How Merge Can Break, the same thing. It's if you can't get a stable set of rows in the source tables. This makes sense because I'm trying to set the department name to employee name. So that would depend which order I consider them, which would be the final result. And obviously that would be a corruption. What if I try set it to the same value? Doesn't matter. The moment we're going to pass to the same row twice in a non-key preserved table, in this case department table, we're going to block it. So even though this actually would have been a consistent result, because I'm setting it to the same value every time, I'd set it to 30 to the value of y, then 30 to the value of y again. Just because you visited each row twice, we're going to give you that error. So there we go. It's actually a cool little enhancement. You can actually get more value out of those join views because you can update more values in them. Just the updatable join view column in the data dictionary needs to be updated to take advantage of that.